And for this video I'm going to provide you and suggest you some interesting podcasts if you are an English learner. Listening to podcasts is a good method for improving our vocabulary, grammar, listening skills, speaking skills. So I suggest you these 5 interesting podcasts with amazing narrators and with amazing pronunciation that might help you to improve those parts of your English. The first one is 6 Minutes English by BBC. This podcast is really interesting and really good for those learners who want to improve their British accent or British comprehension. In 6 minutes, the narrator talks about different topics or give you different explanations about things. With this podcast, you can improve your vocabulary and enhance your natural accent or natural fluency. The second one is Relatos en Inglés by Duolingo. You know this app that can teach you about different languages? It has also a podcast on Spotify, so you can listen to them, the different stories of each episode. And also something really interesting is that the podcast has 2 narrators. The first one, who is the English speaker, who is telling you the different stories, and the second one is the Spanish speaker, who is telling you comments about the story. So if you don't comprehend well the language, you can have a little context about the stories. The third one is Listening Time. You can find this podcast on Spotify, and it's really good because the narrator talks in a really natural and a slowly way, and also he emphasizes the pronunciation of each word, so you can enhance or practice your pronunciation while you are listening this podcast. Then we have American English podcast. In this podcast, you can enhance your pronunciation, vocabulary, and expressions because the narrator, who is an English teacher, provides you different expressions and idioms, so you can enhance that part of your English if you want. This podcast you can find on Spotify. And the last one is Easy English Podcast. This podcast you can find on YouTube, which is really accessible and easy to find. This podcast is really interesting because the narrator provides you different grammar structures, different expressions, and it can help you to enhance or to improve your English grammar, which is really good for beginners. I really hope this information helped you, and someday or today, practicing is the key for improve your English. So that's all. Thank you and see you next time.